Lost Warrior, or Question Man, depending on whether or not you've unlocked him or not. Well, after I unlocked him, I was pretty curious. I thought he had some cool moves, the time freeze, it all seemed pretty neat. However, I do not have the best execution. I've been playing fighting games for ever, for decades, but I am not good at tight links or anything like that. So I thought I really couldn't play this character because everyone that plays Lost Warrior to a high degree is doing this move into the jump cancel property and then canceling the jump cancel. Now, I'm not saying that that is a particularly hard thing to do, but it's not something that I would want to do in any sort of, competitive play or honestly even play with my friends where I'd be dropping it, pretty consistently. So I thought, no, I guess this character is not for me. Then I found out that this character, as long as he has mana, can just keep combos going without much execution. What might I be referring to? Let me show something relatively simple here. So we'll do a series like this. And normally I'd think, oh, this combo's over, right? Nah, he just picks up again and again. And as you can see, I just went into time freeze with that because I did 5 specials all in one. Now, you can, of course, combo into your Superior Awakening after that if you are an Awakening like this. Now, this isn't because of any special property with his Awakening skill. I'll be getting into that momentarily. This is just because he can keep comboing this. He can keep OTGing into this basically as long as he's got mana. Now, if you're doing moves that allow for faster mana recovery like this, obviously that's going to help things out. But the important thing is that I realized, wait a second, I don't need to be doing this into the sword cancel. The swords are this in the air. I don't need to be doing that to still get some really, really solid damage. Now, am I getting max damage with this option? No, not at all. You're only going to be getting, 700 something as opposed to, instantly killing, doing over 900 in one touch. But it does mean that if I've hit with any sort of combo with this character, even a throw or two, then I can one-touch people, and when they go to grab me with something like this, doing it again and again, so on and so forth. My personal favorite, though, is tied to his Awakening skill. If you've been listening to my recent recordings, you know that I love it when a character can combo off of grab. Something I love even more than that, being able to combo off of a parry. And Lost Warrior can do exactly that when the Awakening skill is active because all the magic skill moves that Lost Warrior has creates a longer knockdown period for the opponent. Lost Warrior can also combo off of the parry if it is the 5th magic skill on the stack because then the time freeze activates and you can keep your combo going. Though you're going to be doing more damage if you're comboing off of the Awakening skill. As to what that looks like, let's imagine that Hitman did another DP, which I'm sure isn't very hard for you to imagine at all. And we're going to keep this combo nice and simple, nice and easy. Now, I do need to wait till I've got just one there, as you saw, and now we've got that freeze active. One other fun little fact is notice that they spin all the way out when you end your combo with that magic skill in the air. Now, this is not optimal in the slightest. After the freeze, I should be going for some of these, going for swords as soon as I have it to create a hard knockdown, but just a super, super basic combo that as long as you are watching your magic come back to ensure that you've got 51 when you do that secondary pickup with this, you're doing over 600 damage with the fairy. I love it. It's amazing. And like I said, you can be doing even more. So once I realized that you can just keep combos going with Lost Warrior and then combining that with the Awakening skills off of parry, I was immediately in love. Now, maybe comboing off of parries isn't your cup of tea. What about comboing off of a projectile? How's that sound to you? Does that seem pretty cool? Because you can. That's right. I just did 4 swords back to back to back because, again, when Lost Warrior is in Awakening, whether or not the opponent is jumping when they're hit by the first swords or grounded when they're hit by the first swords, you can keep that going. Now, I'm sure you're wondering, could we maybe extend that? Could we somehow get closer to keep that combo going? Oh, yeah. One, you can do this to get the freeze. However, I prefer a slight variation. The one I like better only uses a single sword to get things kicked off, which you can still easily get over afterwards. And then we do the old pickup from the ground, waiting for it to get to this point. The reason I like this one is I find that the time freeze combo that happens after it is easier for me to hit. And then we just go into super like so. And so from a distance, hitting with one swords while you are in Awakening, we're getting 760 damage if you actually do the time freeze combo that goes with it. So, not only can you be comboing off of a parry, not only can you, of course, combo if the opponent is grounded with this and get a full combo. I mean, that's just normal for Lost Warrior at any point. But the fact that you can combo when doing swords, which leaves you plus on block, and if the opponent did happen to be jumping during this, of course, this misses usually if they're jumping unless you hit them right as they land like so. But let's say they're jumping, that's no worries. You just use swords. Oh, look at this. Now I'm getting a full combo. Easy peasy like so. And it just feels so good to be hitting all of this off of a single projectile. I'm stopping. I'm not going to finish that one out. You already saw it before. But the idea here is that with the Awakening skill and without much execution, because I do not have great execution, you can be hitting for some massive, massive damage. One last thing, I wondered, as you may wonder, after I discovered that you can combo swords into itself, hey, could I do that without the Awakening skill? And the answer to that question is, nah, not if they're grounded. If they're jumping and if they're at the apex of the jump and you perfectly time it to get the next swords out right away, sure, but you see me missing it because it is hard. It's not something that I can regularly hit at all. I think I hit it once out of 20 tries, and the whole point of this video is to talk about how to get easy damage with Lost Warrior. So as you can see, I'm missing it, I'm missing it, I'm missing it. So that's not going to be something that I would urge you to focus on if you are trying to play Lost Warrior without great execution, and I hope you will now that I've showed some of this stuff. For the record though, you can get multiple swords if they are higher in the air. That's a lot easier to make happen if you're, popping them up first and then getting it. A little close there at the end. You can even be getting a sword in between these two if you're ending up doing, something like this. And that becomes, pretty fun, so on and so forth. So in terms of regular swords, it is possible to get a couple regular swords in a combo, but it is way easier to get it if you're doing it off the Awakening skill. So, if you're like me and thought Lost Warrior looked pretty good, but didn't think you had the execution to make it worthwhile, I hope this video has shown you that's not true. You can still be doing lots of really good damage. Now you might be saying, Jeff, I'm not going to play Lost Warrior because there are some bad matchups, and sure, Lost Warrior a bit slow. We're hoping for some faster buttons with the patch that'll be dropping in December. But I gotta say, I'm winning a good amount with Lost Warrior. This is a fun character to play. There are some huge swings you can get going, and I gotta say, I have had few fighting game moments more satisfying than coming all the way back off of one successful parry while I'm in Awakening. Seriously, it becomes a 50-50 gamble near the end where if they go to throw me, I'm doing something like this. If they go to attack me, I'm doing a parry. Obviously, if they go for the lows, I'm just screwed, unless you can jump over them and do that, but you can't do that against all characters. But there are some really fun moments you can have with this character, and they feel legit, meaning it's not just all super gimmicks, because you can be very, very consistent with those combos. Hope this has helped. This has been playing Lost Warrior without execution and my personal favorite, comboing parries.